What's up, Macon-Bibb? I'm Olivia Walter.
And I'm Edna Adams.
And you're listening to
Macon
It. Today, we have one of my favorite people in the county.
Same.
Fire Chief Shane Edwards is here with us. He keeps us safe and just running an amazing Class 1 fire department.
What's up, Chief?
Hello. Thank y'all very much for having me here today. This is awesome.
Well, thanks for being here. So I want to know a little bit more about who Shane Edwards is. I know we know some stuff, but I want to hear, how did you become chief? And what do you like to do? Who are you? What's up?
All right. Well, I joined the fire department in 1988. Fresh out of high school. I went to high school here in Macon, Georgia at Central High School. And when I graduated, I knew I was going to be in public safety somewhere. Wasn't sure if it was going to be law enforcement or the fire department. So went down the road with the fire department and had an opportunity to come work for Chief Jimmy Henson at the time. And from there on, it's just been a great career for me. I've had a lot of opportunities, promotions from sergeant to lieutenant to captain, and then I was appointed assistant fire chief and interim chief and then fire chief. So it's been a great career for me and a lot of opportunities out there.
Do you have any family that was in the fire department?
No, my mom was in public safety. She was a deputy sheriff in Monroe County. So, I kind of had the public safety background all my life, but just wasn't sure that I was going to do law enforcement. So the fire department at the time just seemed to have a little bit better schedule, working about 10 days a month. And I was like, I think I'll try fire first. So
that's a good perk.
That's how I ended up there.
Very cool. And so been in Macon your whole life?
Have, pretty much. Yeah, went to elementary school and through middle school and high school here in Macon.
A lot of people, we get to talk to a lot of people that are from here. And, Olivia and I are not from here, but we call Macon home.
Yes.
And, what was your decision of staying in Macon? A lot of people leave and they come back and, all that. But you've definitely, you have planted your roots here.
All of my family's here. And so that was the main tie was having my father and my mom and grandparents all lived in Macon, Georgia. So when I graduated from high school, I was on the line of going straight into college or going straight into a career. At the time, I wanted that little bit of break from school, I think, and I jumped into the fire department. And it was just because family ties in Macon. I ended up staying here, and I've really enjoyed it.
So you've seen Macon grow a lot.
I have. I've seen it from a lot of dirt roads long time ago into a lot of paved subdivisions and shopping centers that where I used to ride bicycles was mountains and dirt, and now it's shopping centers and leveled out. So, I've seen a lot of it when I was younger, growing up and seeing all the changes in Macon. And it's been awesome. It's been awesome to see it and now be part of the changes and having the opportunity to serve as fire chief and keeping Macon safe and the residents in Macon safe has been awesome.
How has the fire department changed?
The fire department, I don't know that it's changed that much. It's always a lot of camaraderie in the fire department, always a brotherhood and sisterhood. We had a perfect opportunity to become Class 1 fire department, first in the state of Georgia in 1984 under the leadership of Fire Chief Jimmy Henson. And at that time, as the fire chief succeeded him, Chief Hartley, Chief Riggins, they were able to keep the Class 1 rating under audits. And so that was a huge accomplishment for the Macon-Bibb County Fire Department. We were able to keep that. And then recently we just went through our audit as well under my leadership. And I was happy to announce and say that we again have retained our Class 1 ISO rating, which is huge for our community to be able to give back to the community.
Do we have that sound button?
Oh, it's one of these, but I'm not sure which one, and I don't want to hit the wrong one. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Nope, not that one either. There it is.
She's got it right, buddy.
That's amazing.
So what does being a Class 1 fire department actually mean?
So the biggest advantage to being Class 1 fire department here in Macon-Bibb County and anywhere is the fact that it saves our citizens money on their insurance ratings. Class 1 department has a lower insurance rating or lower insurance premiums than other communities do around us. It's a whole lot more economical for large businesses that are wanting to come into the Macon-Bibb County area. If they come into this area, one of the first things they look at is cost. What's it going to cost them to be here, and the revenue that they're going to have to generate. That's a huge impact to be able to have a large savings for their insurance, their property insurance, and for their business to be able to come into Macon, Georgia. So that's huge for us. And it's just one of those things that we feel like that we're able to give back to the community by keeping a Class 1 fire department. And so we're very thankful of that.
Class 1, that's a huge accomplishment. And you guys kind of make it look easy, but I know it's not.
It's not the easiest, but it does take a group effort from different organizations here in Macon-Bibb County. For example, our fire department alone is graded on our training, on our fire suppression side, how quick we respond to fire calls, how quick our firefighters get out of the station when the bell hits, and how quick they're able to complete that time, getting there safely, of course, but swiftly. And then the other component is our training. That's huge. We're graded on, or audited and graded on the amount of training hours that each firefighter has in Macon-Bibb County. So for them to be able to go through training every day, and they have training while they're at the stations and while they're at our training fire academy, that's very instrumental. But our partners that make a difference as well, our number one would be the Macon Water Authority. Our water system is enormous in Macon-Bibb County, and the water system is a large portion of your score from ISO rating. So we're very thankful to be able to partner with the Macon-Bibb County Water Authority. I ask this question often. I ask people all the time, do you have a guess of how many fire hydrants there are in Macon-Bibb County?
I've heard this as a
I
quiz
feel
question
like you've asked me this before, and can I guess?
You can guess.
574.
So that's a pretty good guess, but it's probably not close.
Oh,
darn.
So, and you have heard me ask. I ask it often at different events or anywhere that I'm speaking, but we've got over 7,500 hydrants in Macon-Bibb County, and every one of them are GPSed. Every one of them are marked. They're linked to our mobile data terminals in our computers, in our apparatus, and they're serviced every year by our firefighters and the Macon Water Authority. But that is huge, having that water supply every time we pull up a structure fire and knowing that we've got what we need to be able to handle that or mitigate that emergency is just an enormous opportunity for us. The other part of it is the 911 communication center. How quick they answer a telephone call when it comes in, how quick they're able to dispatch that call. They have so many seconds to take care of both of those, and they're measured by that, and those numbers are calculated on every call and made sure that they're doing it within that time. So our two partners, being the 911 center and as well as the Macon Water Authority, are huge and enormous for us to be able to obtain that Class 1 rating.
Well, when you're going to, I'm not a firefighter. I've never been a firefighter, but just seeing you guys in action, you've got to have all these things in line, because it's a matter of seconds, or, every second is so crucial when an emergency, when a building is burning and all of that. Like, how important are those seconds, and having the resources, having the water, and having all of that there? It
is very, very important. I tell every recruit class when we graduate them, when the bell strikes at the fire station, an emergency's already occurred. Somebody's house, somebody's safety is already in dire need of emergency response services from the fire department. So our firefighters are they know when they get to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning when their shift starts. They know where every piece of equipment is on the truck. They've checked it out. They made sure it's there. They know where their streets are in their territory. They know where hydrants are in their territory. They know that when the bell hits, that's not the time to be second guessing. They're going to make split-second decisions, and that's why we're so fortunate with our firefighters that we have, is that they train so well and they stay on top of their job so well that they are very knowledgeable of everything in their territory, all their apparatus, equipment, everything that's on their trucks. So I'm just thankful to have the group of firefighters that we do that truly make a difference in the community.
They really do. You guys are definitely a family, too.
It is. It is the fire service. I tell them all the time, it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood like no other. When you join the family, it's not just you and the family. Your family is part of our family, and that's something we strive on. I tell them all the time, I want them sitting down at lunchtime eating lunch together, and I want them to, kind of set the cell phones to the side for a little while and just kind of have a face-to-face eye contact and conversation at the table, just to try to vet out some things, just to talk about some things. And that's what is a little unique about the fire service. That's what keeps us close, because you can be sitting at that kitchen table eating lunch together, and 2 seconds later a bell hits, and you're depending on each other to save somebody else's life, or depend on each other to save each other. And so you do have that camaraderie and that brotherhood, and it's awesome to see that in our organization.
Yeah, one thing that I was thinking about during that is we talked about the evolution of the fire department since you've been involved. And we not only have an amazing training center that we have now, but also you were talking about going to high school here in Macon. We have an opportunity now for young high schoolers to start training to be firefighters as well. Tell us a little bit about the training center and training to become a firefighter.
Yeah, so one of the first tasks that I was given when I was appointed interim chief by Mayor Lester Miller was he wanted to partner and work on a project to improve our fire academy, and that was huge. The mayor and commissioners approved over $3.5 million to start out with a new state-of-the-art upgraded fire training tower for our fire academy. That was huge, but what that did was that opened doors for us to be able to do compliant in-house training in Macon-Bibb County. And also we have our own training division where we do in-house training for our firefighters. So one of the things that we've worked on this year is and we just graduated our first class, was a dual enrollment program with the Bibb County Board of Education school system, to where seniors can actually go through Firefighter 101 class. And when they graduate from high school their senior year, they're actually certified state firefighter when they pass the boards, and they can actually come straight on to the fire department and be fast-tracked into a station, which is really awesome.
Yes.
A lot of opportunities for us. But what also goes along with that is the fact that firefighters today can come right out of high school, join the Macon-Bibb County Fire Department, and come in making over $40,000 a year, and that's working 9 shifts a month. Mm-hmm. And then on the other times that they're off, there's so many opportunities for part-time jobs. For a lot of them work for ambulance services. A lot of them work for they have their own businesses, whether it's home repair or cutting grass or construction, detail shops. There's all kinds of things that firefighters do on the side. So there are a lot of opportunities for them, and just having that opportunity to graduate from high school and come into our department has been huge. One of the other things that we've done is we've got Wi-Fi in every fire station. So in the evening times, I call it their downtime after 5:30 in the evening, we kind of allow the firefighters to kind of be on their own. They can't go home, they can't leave the fire station, but what they are able to do is take care of some extracurricular activities, whether it be online schools or taking additional classes online, things like that. So we've got quite a few firefighters that have enrolled in formal education through online. They're able to do that in the evening times at the fire station and get those classes under the belt, which helps with promotional opportunities in the future.
I love that. And so these, high schoolers got the chance to also train at our state-of-the-art facility, training center. Talk to us about how that has gone. I remember, doing the groundbreaking and talking about this. You've been wanting this for years and years and years, and now it's come to life. And people have used it, not just our county, but other partnering agencies. One
of the things that we saw, our early challenge when we were looking at trying to see which direction we were going to go in, what kind of training tower we were going to get, we did reach out to other surrounding departments about having the opportunity to do some live fire training in their facilities, because at the time ours was in dire need to be replaced. And it was just a safety concern that we had, that we needed to look at our options until we had a new fire academy built. So one of the things I did was once the academy was built, I kind of put it out there on the table and let people know that if you need to come train in Macon-Bibb County, we will open the door for you to come in and train. We've had several corporations reach out to us that have fire brigades, or companies that have fire brigades in their businesses, who have come to us and asked, hey, can we come and do training with fire extinguishers, or training in your fire tower to see about how to move a hose line up and down a stairwell and things like that. So we've opened the door and partnered with other outside agencies to come in. We've had departments come to Macon and do their final firefighter checkoffs here at our fire academy. They have the option to go to Georgia Public Safety Training Center in Forsyth. However, sometimes those classes are already full. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to be a satellite partner We're close to Forsyth. If somebody was already planning on driving to Forsyth, they wasn't able to get into a class there, and they needed to take some type of certification that we could offer here in Macon-Bibb County, we would divert them to Macon and allow them to come in and work with our training complex, our training staff, and be able to get those opportunities to advance, their training levels as well. So that's been great. A very good opportunity for us and our firefighters to be able to network with other departments and show them what we have in Macon. But we also learn when we network with them and they come in and train, we pick up notes from them too as to how they're handling things and how they're working. So it's a very good collaborative effort of everybody pulling together to accomplish the same task.
Yeah, something that makes our fire department very unique is we're sort of setting the bar for a lot of Georgia and the rest of the fire departments throughout Georgia. Tell us some of the things that makes this department really shine.
So one of the things that, when I had the opportunity to become the interim fire chief, I kind of sat down with Mayor Miller and we talked about some goals and some strategies that I had that I wanted to try to implement in the fire department for numerous reasons, for recruiting purposes, to get people to want to come to work for Macon-Bibb County Fire Department, and also as retention for our firefighters as well. And one of the things that we started out from the very beginning, of course, we got the training tower. That was huge. Commissioners 100% supported that, voted on it. That was put in place. Then I went back to the mayor and talked to Mayor Miller about the option to be able to upgrade our uniforms to a fire wear uniform that has a Nomex blend in it that offers a level of protection that we didn't have in the past. However, I think our firefighters were ready for that. They wanted a station wear uniform, and they wanted something that they felt was more comfortable when they were working at the station and running calls. So that was one of the first things we did. That was huge, and part of that was, I would say, for morale, but the other piece of it was the safety factor, to make sure that they have everything that they need to keep them safe. One of the other things that has been a drastic improvement in the fire department is our fleet right now has kind of been in need of getting some updated apparatus to our fleet. And so I'm proud to say that we just did a push-in ceremony for Ladder 11 within the last couple of weeks, and just before that we did Engine 11 at the station on Riverside Drive. So we have 2 new fire apparatus out there, but I'm proud to say that Commission and our mayor, Dr. Moffitt, our county manager, and everybody has, again, unanimously approved another dozen apparatus coming to Macon, Georgia, which is huge. Macon-Bibb County
huge.
Fire Department has never seen this many apparatus coming at one time. It's a program that we put together and we presented to Commission. They were able to accept it, and we were able to move forward. So we've got 8 brand new fire engines being built right now at Suffin Corporation. We've got 2 ladder trucks being built right now at Suffin Corporation. They should be coming in within the 2025 year. And then I'm proud to announce we have a ARF apparatus that's coming in that's going to be at the airport. It's actually in construction right now, so we're looking forward to it coming in 2025 as well. And then we have what we call a QRV, but a quick response vehicle rescue under construction right now, which is awesome for us. So very thankful to our commissioners. Thank you to our mayor, our county manager, all of our budget team for being able to work with us and allow us to get our fleet updated and upgraded to the latest and greatest technology of apparatus in the state of Georgia.
That'll be wonderful. And I know we did an NBC Cribs episode with you when we were first doing a push-in ceremony with a new truck. So I think we got a lot of episodes we got ahead of us now.
That sounds good. We did NBC Cribs for Engine 2. And we also did the one for our fire academy. So Those were both great, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback from both of those. So thank y'all very much for doing that for us. The next thing that we started looking at was we were looking at a new shift schedule for Macon-Bibb County Fire Department. As I called around and started talking to other departments in Georgia, we were one of the last departments that I found that was still working a 24 on and 24 off shift, which means they came to work 24 hours. Then they went home for 24 hours. Then they came back for 24 hours. And that was the regular shift they worked every 2 weeks with what we called 2 long days or 2 off days. And every person was assigned a set of off days. Mm-hmm. That didn't tend to, in my eyes, be really fair, because sometimes somebody could have a Wednesday, Saturday, or a Sunday, Monday, and then other people on the truck may have a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. So I wanted to change that. So we started looking at a 3-4 shift setup where every firefighter would work the same number of days, and that would give us the opportunity to do away with the off days. So everybody had the same shift, just like everybody in the whole department. So they would come in and work 24 on, then they'd go home for 24 hours. They'd come back and work another 24-hour shift, go home, and they'd come back and work a third 24-hour shift, and then they'd be off for 4 days. And that was the new schedule we came up with, and our firefighters have really gravitated to it. They really have enjoyed it. Having that 4-day break has been very instrumental in some of that time that they need to reel themselves back in from some of the calls they run, seeing some things, and the stress of the job that we're under. This gives them the opportunity to go home and have downtime with their family and kind of, get things back to where they need to be. And then when they come back and start their 3 shifts, on and off, it's worked out really good. Our firefighters really liked it. They've really gravitated to it, and I think it's been awesome. But one of the biggest challenges we had with implementing that 3-4 shift was before we did that, we had 2 shifts in the fire department, basically an A shift and a B shift. In order to do this, when I met with Mayor Miller, he said, "What's going to be your largest challenge?" And I said, "Our challenge is going to be we have to create a whole third shift. We have to create a C shift now. And in order to do that, we're going to have to make a large amount of promotions, because basically we had an A and B shift that had plenty of captains, lieutenants, and sergeants, and battalion chiefs. Well, at this point, to create that third shift, we had to go in and we had to make 3 more additional battalion chiefs, 5 additional captains, 37 additional lieutenant positions, and then 29 additional sergeant positions, which opened up 75 plus promotions right off the bat, which was huge for our department to be able to make that additional amount of promotions in the department and create that third shift has been instrumental. And once again, as I always say, thank you to Mayor Miller and the commissioners. When we presented that plan, it was 100% supported by everybody in the commission and in the government to say that we were going to stand behind the fire chief and make that happen, and they have. And we're very appreciative of it. Our firefighters have truly appreciated the opportunity to be able to have that shift schedule.
And that's the thing with, it's not only helping their mental health, but it's helping morale and just creating that family environment even more.
It is. I've actually had other fire chiefs from around the state, after they heard we implemented that, call us, and the first question is always, how do you do it? And how did you get over it? It was a long 6 months to implement that, but we were able to do it. And then the second question is, how do you firefighters feel about it today? Or did they gravitate to it? Is it something they like? And I think our firefighters have really, really appreciated to have the opportunity to work that schedule. It's been great having them to be able to have that 4-day stretch of downtime and get things back right before they have to come back to the fire truck's been instrumental.
Mm-hmm. When I love the feedback that you also get from all of your firefighters, I think that that's been something that, in the few years that I've been in this role and, being able to work with you and stuff and just work with other firefighters when it comes to communications, just anytime anybody's talking about you, they're like, Chief, he listens. And that has been something that I've seen too, that you're that point of contact to have those conversations with the mayor and the administration to get things rolling. But a lot of that trickled from, just your firefighters talking to you and saying, "Hey, Chief, what about this?" and all that. How important is that for you as chief, as being in your role, to listen to your department and take that? That's
been very, very important. I think that's been a lot of the success that I've had, is being able to be in the fire stations and listen to the firefighters. The whole uniform change, that wasn't my idea.
He's on the record.
I loved the uniform that we had. I thought it was it's a very professional look uniform. Mm-hmm. It's still our Class A uniform. As the fire chief, and I would go to conferences, or I'd go to other departments, and I'd tell them I was looking at station wear uniform, and they'd say, "Oh, Chief, don't do it. Macon-Bibb's always looked this Macon-Bibb look. Class 1 department, you've been in your Class A uniforms." But there was a time and a need. Our firefighters had always talked about having a station wear uniform, navy blue on navy blue, that they could wear around the station as well as running emergency response calls. And just to get the feedback from them and for them to know that, hey, we're making a change that's going to benefit them, is something that they want to do. It's about morale, to try to, always improve morale in the department. But then after we succeeded and had that in place, some of the firefighters started coming to me talking about station pride logos. We've never really had a station pride logo. And so, again, I don't know that I was the one to say it wasn't my idea. It was firefighters coming to me saying, would you even consider it? And I was like, let's talk about it. And so we brought our executive command staff together, and we sat down and we discussed Station Pride logos. And, I was proud to see some logos start trickling in that firefighters were putting together. And we've implemented that. So now we have Station Pride logos. And the last few apparatus that we purchased, they actually came with their station logo printed on the side of the truck, which is very, very, very neat. And it's ownership. That team of firefighters that's at that fire station, it allows them to have a little bit of ownership with that equipment and with that apparatus. And as I always say, we've got the best firefighters in the state. We'll put them up against anybody. But this is just one more thing that we try to do to give back to our firefighters, because they give so much for us. Every day covering these shifts. We've got quite a few vacancies right now. I'm close to 90 probably vacancies in the department. But I've been so thankful and so appreciative to all of our firefighters who come back and work callback, work overtime. We haven't had to close a fire station. We haven't had to put a fire truck off duty because of a manpower issue, because our firefighters step up to the plate every day, and they make sure that all these trucks are covered. We've talked about mandatory callback, as some departments do. I've been able to stay completely away from that. I don't want to do that. That's a morale killer in an organization. I've talked to other fire chiefs who have been forced to do that. And we're fortunate that we hadn't had to. So all I can say is thank you to our firefighters for doing that. And they have definitely stepped up to the plate and made sure that every apparatus, all 22 engines, 8 ladder trucks, have been in service and covering this community every day.
I think that, we see all of this. We love when it's fun and we see a fire truck and we want to learn about it and all that stuff. But you guys deal with some really heavy stuff. You're, called to some really serious calls and stuff. How do you and your departments work together to, kind of have them get some mental health, needs, or talk to one another, or, at every single graduation, that you speak to this class, you tell them that your door is open, if you want to just chat about something. First of all, thank you so much for all that you guys do. But sheesh, some of it, being a former news reporter and getting called to scenes like that, you guys do amazing work.
Well, thank you. It is tough today to I call them our young adults coming out of high school. They're seeing things that families will never see. Their parents probably never saw, or their brothers or sisters will never see, hopefully. And so that's hard. That's hard to come right out of high school and get right onto a fire truck, and then you're running into people's homes who are on fire, who people are devastated and losing everything, or we're responding to major vehicle accidents where extrications are taking place, and our firefighters are having to go in there, and while they're being extricated and taking care of patients, they're having to provide patient care for someone who is in a trauma situation. And our young people have to see that. We respond to all 911 calls that are major 911 calls in Macon-Bibb County. So all of our personnel pretty much sees anything that happens, from shootings to domestic violence to major horrific car accidents to structure fires, and a lot of loss of lives. And so one of the things that we've implemented is we do have a CISM team in place, a critical incident stress management team. If some of our officers see something, or they're talking to one of their personnel who just doesn't sound right today, or they're just a little bit more quieter than normal, then we have a system in place that they can send an email to this team internally, and our members will reach out to that individual and talk to them. But we also have other services around Middle Georgia, not just in Macon, but we've actually got services here in the city where we can actually send a firefighter if a firefighter needs somebody to talk to or needs a little bit of extra time. We can reach out to that organization, and they have always had the door open for our firefighters to be able to come in and have that. We just had a horrific call this past weekend with one of our firefighters who got injured, and we actually ended up flying him to Augusta Burn Center. And so the first thing that my battalion chiefs and our assistant fire chief did was call me and said, hey, we're pulling the companies together that were on that call, and we're fixing to sit down and debrief with them. And I think that's huge, having
Yeah.
that line of communication open. And when I talked about earlier how I want them sitting around the kitchen table at lunchtime, that's sometimes where those conversations happen, because if you don't, what tends to happen is somebody will get by themselves, they'll get along, and they'll dwell on it. So, the goal is to make sure that everybody's okay at the end of the day. And we do have several services throughout the state. I received a text after our firefighter was injured and flown to Augusta from the Georgia State Patrol, who has a team in place, and they reached out to me and said, "Hey, we've heard you got a firefighter being flown to Augusta. We're here. Do we need to come in and do a debriefing with your personnel? They're still on, that we're at the fire." They're open. They're open to assist us. There's all kind of organizations out there, and as like you said, as I continue to tell our firefighters, if it gets to that point, call me. It starts at the top. My phone's on 24/7. It doesn't matter to me. What I want is our firefighters to know that we're here. We're here for them. It's not just me, the fire chief, our whole executive staff, who are made up of the 9 battalion chiefs, 2 division chiefs, and my assistant chief and deputy chief. We will be here to take care of our firefighters, and that's what it's about. We want them to be able to go home to their families at the end of a shift and be clear, have a clear mind about the last shift they just ran.
I love that. You guys are definitely a family. I mean, we say it, but then to see it is incredible.
Yeah, and it's not just about the firefighter family. It's the family's family, because you have a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter, and
Thank you.
every time you go to a firefighter event, you see everyone there with their
families,
their little kids. So it's always great to sort of see everyone come together, because it's just such an expanded family, and it makes people feel extremely included in this gigantic hug of
We do.
people that are supporting each other.
We do. We have, we do 2 different major events. We do a family fun day, which is our competition day between all of our battalions. But we invite families out. We set up and grill out that day. All the battalions have their own grills going, and the families come out with the kids, and we just make a good, long, fun day out of just competing against, because firefighters do like competition. They do like to compete against each other. And but that's been awesome for us to be able to do that each year. And then the other thing that we implemented a couple of years ago is we actually do an annual Christmas party for our firefighters, off-site, away from the fire station. Used to, we did it at headquarters, and headquarters always did all the cooking. They always did all the entertaining, but they didn't get to enjoy it. So one of the things that we did a couple of years ago was we implemented a off-campus firefighter Christmas dinner, and we rotate shifts, so the same shift's not working every year. So this year it'll be a new shift being able to come in, but thank you to all of our organizations and supporters in Macon-Bibb County. People they donate gifts to us to be able to give to our firefighters during that Christmas party. So there's a lot of nice door prizes and a lot of nice accolades are given out that night, a lot of handshakes and hugs, and it is a time for our firefighters to come together and see each other away from the fire station and see their families and be with their families and spend time and see a whole different side. So it's great to have those 2 events going through our department annually.
And you talked about being down in personnel, and a lot of fire departments across the country are down in personnel. But if I was interested in becoming a firefighter, what do I need to do to learn more? When are recruitments open? Tell me more.
So we recruit 24/7. So recruitment's always open. I actually was just talking to a young man last night that pulled me to the side, and I'd been on him for a couple of months about, I think about the fire department. Well, I saw him, and he said he was ready. So, one of the things that we did under this administration we're under now is we worked very closely with the Human Resources Division to improve and speed up the hiring system. So right now we actually do a 2-day assessment center to where when a future firefighter applies for the fire department, they of course go on the Macon-Bibb County government's website, go to Human Resources and apply for a fire recruit position. They do that online, and then once they do that, they're scheduled to go and have we call a CPAT, which is a candidate physical agility test at our fire academy. And that's the first day, which is a 1.5 mile run and then some firefighter skills that they have to perform, and climbing a 100-foot ladder, of course, to make sure they're not afraid of heights, but also running a mile and a half to make sure they can endure. And then we have a few firefighter skills that they do after that, and that's the first day of the assessment. And if they 100% pass that assessment, then they're invited back the very next day, and they actually do the classroom portion of an assessment, which is the kind of a hands-on as well as study habits and opportunities like that. So they come back and do that the second day, and once they do that, it's basically left up to the applicant. Once they successfully complete that and pass that, they turn their references in, and once their references are turned in, their name is actually sent to me. And so one of the things that, it used to take 3-4 months to get on the fire department. And I actually met a young female firefighter from another department one day, and I was talking to her, and I said, well, look, we're looking for firefighters. She was wanting to relocate into the Macon-Bibb County area. And so I kind of had a two-part task. I needed a firefighter, but I also wanted to prove that our process in HR had worked. So it took a little bit over a month and a half to get her completely through the application process. She was able to go do the CPAP test and successfully passed all that. She was able to go through the Human Resources Division, get her background done, get her physical done, and she was on a fire truck in a month and a half. And that was awesome because it used to take, like I said, sometimes 3-4 months to even get their name in my office before I could even interview them. And so she was kind of my little test pilot that I used to prove that we have made some drastic improvements. And right now, just last week, I had 2 firefighters come down that are relocating to the Middle Georgia area, and both went through our CPAP and physical agility test to apply to become a firefighter. So, we're looking at all different ways of recruiting firefighters. If they're already certified and state certified, what we call fast track, we'll get them into a 2-week orientation, and after that orientation, we're able to put them on a fire truck. Once we feel that they've met all the cognitive skills and everything that they need to successfully complete the skills of being a firefighter, we'll put them out there.
I love that. Come join the family. Chief, thank you so much for talking with us and giving us an inside look into the fire department.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it.
Other things making it in our community. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready in case we get a natural disaster heading our way, or just any sort of emergency disaster? I know that's something we don't want to think about, but we have to, because you just never know. Mother Nature can just, she does what she does. So the Macon-Bibb County Emergency Management Agency is hosting its 3rd annual Emergency Preparedness Fair at the Elaine H. Lucas Senior Center.
Oh, yeah. That's September 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There'll be hot dogs. There'll be hamburgers. There'll be emergency item giveaways, public safety truck tours, CPR first aid training, pet microchipping. The list goes on.
It's a great time. It's fun for everyone in the family. You get free things like weather radios and things that you need to stay prepared. This is a great opportunity for you to learn more about EMA and then our other local partner agencies as well. Another family-friendly event happening, Olivia.
Yes, the food truck frenzy's
Yum.
back. We were just talking about Elaine H. Lucas Senior Center is going to be hosting that EMA fair, but in Carolyn Creighton Park, same area, we're going to have the food truck frenzy back, hosted by our recreation department. And that event is happening September 14th from 11 to 4. There'll be tons of food trucks, fun events for little kids. Come
Just
on
a great
out.
time
Yeah,
overall.
it's a great thing to do on a random Saturday.
Actually, another great thing to do at Carolyn Creighton Park, this time a week from the food truck frenzy, is the 3rd annual Macon-Bibb Hispanic Festival that I'm so proud of. I love this event. It has been so great the past years. This year, we are moving location, so if you've been to the event before, it's typically held in the middle of downtown in front of City Hall at Rosa Parks Square. This year, It's bigger and better, so we're
course.
moving it over to Carolyn Creighton Park. That is happening Saturday, September 21st from 1 to 7 p.m. It is fun for everyone in the family. It is fun for whoever you want to come learn a little bit more about the Hispanic cultures that we have in our community and throughout the world. It has food, games, dancing, live music. It really is such a great time for everyone. Again, I'm really proud of it. Your fellow Latina here, your fellow Mexican. It is something that I'm so proud of, and I really hope that the rest of the community will take advantage of this and, tell your friends and family about it.
I'll be out there.
It is fun for everyone, and admission is free.
Yes. All right. See you out at all these fun events.
Adios, amigos.